Greetings, beloved, and welcome to our Wholesome Wednesday. We really appreciate your feedback, your support, your subscribing, your liking, your sharing. We really appreciate what you're doing and the feedback that you are giving us. So today we continue on the book of First Kings. We are on the book of First Kings, and today we are on chapter 6. So last week we spoke about Solomon. Now he is finding himself, of course, from the previous chapters, Solomon is taking over as a young man and is a king now, and he's trying to build this temple that his father had tried to build, and God has said no, but your son will. So now Solomon has taken over, and he has taken over this project of building, and we spoke about the Gentiles that are now helping the children of Israel to build this temple. So on chapter 6, now we're getting to see this beautiful temple coming up, right? It's got gold almost everywhere. It's got this beautiful art. It's got beautiful stone. It's got beautiful timber. Everything is just on point. And it's so wonderful that, and one thing that I also liked about this chapter is that they're saying there was no sound heard from the people that were actually preparing, or the people that were building this temple. So the raw materials, when they were coming in already done, right? It's just to fit in the DIY kind of, there was no sound that was heard on site where they were building, because all the raw materials were coming in already done. So there was a sort of some reverence of some sort, because now this is a site, and people they know that the construction site, there's a lot of noise, but there's something unique about this temple that is being built, because there's no sound being produced, there's no noise. It's just got this somber kind of space and air in the air, that is, there's some holiness that is being experienced as they are building this temple. And this temple, of course, like we said, it comes out so beautifully. And of course the dates we do not know for sure, but they are saying this temple was there for over about 300 years. The children of Israel were in this temple, and they were marveling the good works of the architects, the everything that was there. It was just beautiful. And the children of Israel, they have a home for this long, right? Generation to generation, they see this temple, they experience visitors also that are coming in to see this wonderful temple. And after all this, God then says, I'm not confined to spaces. I'm not confined to buildings. I don't dwell only in buildings. But wherever I am, my holiness comes with me. My righteousness comes with me. Wherever I am, wherever my presence is, right? And my presence is not limited to a building. Anywhere where human beings are and they're inviting me, so I will be as well, right? So after building such a huge temple, you would think that, okay, so what was this, right? I've had people asking me, so what was the purpose of building this temple if God could be with anyone at any point, anyway, right? But he had to make the children of Israel understand that how to, or understand his voice. He had to have somewhere where they have to learn, right? This walk with him. So if they had a place where they could refer to, get there and have these walks with him, have these conversations with him and experience him, then when he says, I'm going to be in your heart, now it makes sense, because at least they have experienced him. So today we experience him as individuals, and we have access to him 24/7. We don't have to go to a certain temple, but we need, of course, the fellowship with one another and take care of each other, and also be taken care of, right, by other people. But in terms of God is not only in the tabernacle or a church on your day of worship, right? On Saturday or on Sunday. God is not only there on Sabbath, right? Even throughout the day, throughout the week, God is there. And so if we were to confine him to a building, what happens throughout the week when we are praying and we're having this, because we are spending more time outside church, right? We are always at work, we are always at home. We only go, some of us, we only go to church maybe once or twice a week or 3 times a week. It's not a consistent kind of, and when we are there, we don't spend the whole day, it's just for a short time and we are gone. So if it were for the issue of God being confined to a building, can you imagine just spending a short time with God and then you're out of his presence and you are not safe outside of his presence? You have to wait for another 3, 4, 5, 6 days to go back again to the presence of the Lord. So isn't it wonderful that God then made it clear that he's not confined to buildings, made it clear that he is everywhere where there are people. His presence is also there. And we remember just now we had COVID. Imagine if God was only confined to a building, and here we are, all of us stuck in our homes. We can't go to this building, and we have to pray, and we want to pray, but the only place where we can pray is at the temple. But the temple we have no access because there is COVID. Imagine how we're going, with the kind of losses that we're going through. If God was only accessible, right, in a building, how many of us would have survived? It was only God that pulled us through, because the kind of losses that we're having, we couldn't have. So it's a beautiful thing that at least God is not only in beautiful temples and beautiful structures. We are not discouraging that we should build beautiful structures for God, but we are saying, let us also remember, let us first know that God is everywhere. Where we seek for his presence, where we seek for his counsel, he is there, right? But we need, of course, a church, a building for fellowship where we'll come together as a group of believers, and we come together and we fellowship with one another. We hear, we understand each other's burdens, and we try to alleviate each other's burdens, and we are able, right, to help each other and be kind, and also able to receive the kindness and the love from other people. So we see here in this chapter that the children of Israel have put their all, they are now putting this structure up, of course, without the noise, and this temple comes out so beautiful, so beautiful. But then we also learn a lesson that God is not confined to structure. No matter how beautiful it was, God is not confined to structures. In your heart, in my heart, God can come and dwell. So each and every one of us, we have a chance to invite God into our hearts, and we will be able to stay, dine with him, and he with you and me. So let us remember that God is there for us. From us here at Mercy Abounds, we want you to continue to share, subscribe, and like. We are excited about this journey, and let us continue to remember that from wherever we are, from wherever valley, whichever valley deep down below where you think you are, from there, without a building, without anything, God can still come, and you are welcome to ask for his presence